Come on. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. Or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon. You know what I'm saying? Or good evening. Yeah, and depending on what part of the country you in, if you from like, Detroit, what up though? You know what I'm saying? Like if you from New Orleans, whoa, what's that? And good morning. For those of y'all watching live, welcome to another episode of Next Level Talks. Do me a favor. Guess what? Guess what? Me and my team just found out that 70% of the people, watch this, 70% of the people that's tapped in, that watch Next Level Talks, have not subscribed. Don't be that person. Come on, y'all. I'm showing up every single week live, and I got the gang here. Show them the gang. I got Eb here. I got Jerry here. You know what I'm saying? I got Ebony here. You know what I'm saying? I got Jira here. We got Jelani off in the cut like he's security. Look, hit subscribe button, y'all. This is free. I tap in with you just about every single week as long as I'm in the country and I'm not traveling. Like, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Hit the subscribe button. I don't want you to miss nothing. When I found out that 70% of the people that watch it, consume it, and come back every week didn't subscribe, I said, that's interesting. And you know what, though? You have not because you asked not. So I'm officially asking, hit that subscribe button. If you really want to go to the next level, hit the notification button, hit that bell. That way you're notified every time we go live. Look, y'all, I'm excited, man. Can I give y'all a recap of my weekend? Is that okay with you? Can I give you a recap of my weekend? So I flew to LA. There is this I flew to LA and I had an appointment with this world famous tattoo artist that flew in from Italy, and I wasn't settled on the design and didn't do it. Didn't do it, y'all. My man flew all the way to Italy. I flew all the way from Atlanta. I know Eb is looking at me. Sure, Eb is looking at me like you didn't do what? Like I just look, y'all. Here we go. Always grateful. Come on, that's only one person here. Come on, always grateful. Come on, look, y'all. I got to a point where I saw the design. You know how they do the 3D joint. You put it on my arm, and I was like, it's good, but it's gonna be on me forever. So I opted out. So look, y'all, I ended up spending the day in LA. I went to the beach. I got a good workout. I hit the pool. You know what I'm saying? I went and got a pedicure. I just had a day to myself. I just had a day to rest, relax, recalibrate. Took my cousin to dinner, and then I went to San Diego, and that's where something special happened, man. That's where something special happened. I don't know if we have. I should have gave you the picture, Jerry. How long does it take to get the picture up? 2 minutes? Yeah, we'll be done with it by then. But we still might show it. We still might show it. I'm about to airdrop it to you, and you should have it right there. So check this out, y'all. So I'm there. I'm in San Diego, and I went there to meet with our chapter. So I'm there with our California chapter. So we have a California chapter in the Next Level Speaks Academy. So all the folks from all over, whether they were in Sacramento, San Diego, Los Angeles, whatever parts, the Bay Area, like whatever part, I guess that's San Francisco, right? Like whatever parts of California that they in, Compton, Watts, like they all came, not all of them, but a good group of them came to San Diego, man. And I got to pour into them. Oh, come on, Coach Blaza. I got to speak life. You know what I'm saying? I got to pour into them. I got to give them a word, man. So shout out to all the members. If you in the academy, man, whether it's the Cali chapter or not, you know what I'm saying? Hold on a second, Jerry. Hold on a second. I wasn't even ready for it, man. Golly, man, bro, excited, bro. Like bang, bang. I didn't even tell you to shoot yet. You know what I'm saying? But I was there with the Cali chapter, man. I got to speak life. I got to pour into them. I got to really love on them and show them a good time. Let me show you. I want y'all to feel the energy. So I'm going to sing you this one too, Jerry. Hold on one second. Everybody calm down. So look, y'all. So I'm there and I got a word. I got a word and I'm knowing like what God want me to share with the people. So I'm sitting back and I'm watching the different members of the community do rapid fire, and they speak and they doing their 2 minutes. And I'm just sitting back in the cut like a proud dad, like a proud father, like a proud uncle, like a proud coach, mentor. Like, man, look at them go up here and speak with such clarity and such conviction. And I saw some folks was like moved emotionally by what was said. Listen to me, y'all. Listen to me. That's when you know you got something deep inside you, when you can speak and be practicing, but what you're sharing blesses people and moves them to emotions. Man, our community is so special and anointed. And so I got to build with them. Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready, Jared. I got to build with them. I got to hang out with them. I got to give them a word and spend a few hours, man. So shout out to everybody in the Cali chapter. Shout out to everybody that drove as far as 5 hours away. Now, this is significant because I typically only leave my home for a major speaking engagement. I take very few of the requests that come in. And so I'm in a season where I have the privilege to be somewhat selective of the engagement that come through. But for me to leave my home and to go all the way there to pour into our people, like I really take, the opportunity I have to pour into them, what I'm saying? I take it seriously, what I'm saying? To be their shepherd, May Lucy, which is my South African name, which means the shepherd, my Zulu name. I take that serious. And so shout out to everybody that was there, man. I hope y'all felt the love. And I want y'all to feel the energy. If y'all wasn't in the room, check this out. This is the Cali chapter letting us know they got something to say. Yeah, come on. Can they hear that? Yeah, come on. Ooh, can they hear? I can't hear, but they can hear. I'm good. Okay, bet. Oh, come on, y'all. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody in the Cali chapter. And before we did it, man, our California president, Carla Alonza, and her husband Noel, they asked me to officiate a vow renewal for their wedding, man. So that's a picture of us after the vow renewal ceremony on the beautiful campus of the University of San Diego. And it was actually there at the chaplaincy, their religious program. And so such a great fitting, man, such a great opportunity to be able to walk them through the process of them renewing their vows together. So shout out to Carla, super proud of you and your leadership. Shout out to her hubby, the man of God, Noel, man. So that was my weekend. So watch this. So I flew back from San Diego, flew all the way back to Atlanta, got in right when Tracy got in. We arrived at the same time. Let me tell y'all something. I was so anxious and so excited to see my wife. This is going to sound dramatic, y'all, but I'm serious. So my wife was in Nashville. I'm just putting all our family business out there. My wife was in Nashville this weekend. You know what I'm saying? But it's family stuff. We family. If y'all feel like y'all family, put La Familia in the chat. Come on and talk to me. If you family, if you feel like you tapped in with me, put La Familia in the chat. Come on, put family in the chat. So my wife was in Nashville celebrating her aunt's birthday. I believe it was like the 80th birthday. It was one of them significant boys. And so we flew in around the same time. So I'm going up the escalators. I'm going up the escalators in the airport, getting off the train, about to go get picked up and meeting Tracy. And I was so excited. I was so anxious. You would have thought that I was coming back like from Afghanistan or something. You would have thought I was coming back from like overseas. You know what I'm saying? Like I was coming up the escalators. I couldn't wait to see my girl, man. But we got back and we went to a local diner. Like we was going to hit Waffle House, but ate good last night, watched some movies till like 2 a.m, spent the whole day chilling with the family. Just had a really blessed weekend, and now I'm locked in with you. I've got a lot to share in a small amount of time, so it's time to get going. It's Next Level Talks. Let's get it.
You go out here and you claim your seat.
Oh, I just touched down, now it's time to celebrate. Super Bowl in Vegas, this where the big steppers play. My whole squad will paint the town, but they don't decorate. And my work a bit excessive, check my resume. Keep it a C-note, if I'm speaking, I'm the keynote. Super Bowl in Vegas, this where the big steppers play. My whole squad will paint the town, but they don't decorate. And my work a bit excessive, check my resume. Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah. Dance, 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 dance.
Go time. Y'all know here at Next Level Speaks Academy, one thing we like to do is every week we like to identify different members of the community that's making major impact and those who are making major income. And this week we want to shout out our very own Jordan Sanders. Listen to me, man. He hosted his first ever men's conference. Y'all show some love to Jordan. It's one thing for him to get booked to speak in schools. It's one thing for him to get booked to speak in churches and make an impact. But brother's getting to a point now where he's like, I want to give other people an opportunity to speak. He had ET come to his conference, y'all. Come on, y'all. That ain't easy. But that's what happens when you connect and you adding value and you really building. Jordan been adding value to us for years. ET spoke there. Coach Crumpro spoke there. He brought up the big dogs, yo. So, y'all, so shout out to Jordan. Super proud of you, bro. Grateful for the work that you're doing. I know your pops is pleased. I know God is pleased. I'm proud of you and what you've been able to accomplish. I'm proud of the conference that you and your pops put on, man. That was absolutely amazing. And so again, y'all, we celebrate those that's making impact, those that's making income. It's one thing to speak and get paid. It's another thing to speak for free and be a blessing to people. That next level now is when you're putting on and you're hosting your own events. That's different. When you're putting on and you're hosting your own events and you're being a blessing to people that way, like that's major. So shout out to Jordan. Today's topic, man, it's going to be a good one, man. Today's topic is how do you stay centered in the chaos? Come on, how do you stay centered in the chaos? Y'all put deep in that chat. We about to go deep today. How do you stay centered in the chaos? Here's the reality. We living in a crazy world. Y'all hear me? I don't even be watching the news like that because I be having to protect my peace. And I be wanting to see like what CNN saying, what Fox News saying, what MSNBC be saying, and you got to watch all of them because it be propaganda on all sides. Like, don't play with it, right? And so I'll be watching the news to kind of see what's going on, and then I'll be like, all right, that's 18 minutes. I can't take no more. I'll check back in next month. You feel me? But when I see everything that's happening in the world, from wars to rumors of wars to pain and destruction and folks losing their SNAP benefits, it just breaks my heart. And I want to say something. I don't typically get into politics, but I'm gonna go there. Y'all want me to go there? Put go there in the chat. I'm about to go there. Deani, I know Deani right now is thinking like, Lord, what is Jeremy finna say? I'm finna go there. If I get 20 of y'all to say go there, I'm gonna go there. Come on. I don't typically get into politics, but I got something to say now, doggone it. I got something to say and we finna go there. Only if 20 of y'all, at least 20 of y'all say go there. Okay, some of y'all is like, nah, Jay, just keep ministering to us, but don't talk about the other relevant things that's happening in the world. Come on, talk to me. And so watch this, y'all. Come on. So I typically don't go into politics. And you know something we should discuss, team, and during strategic planning too, is I'm wondering if during my next level talks, if we should transition in 2026 into me giving a word, me pouring into them, me uplifting them, but we also talking about some current events. Would y'all like that? Put yes in the chat. If y'all would like for me to like really, you know what I'm saying, touch on some current events as well. I'm still gonna pour into you. I'm still gonna minister to you. I'm gonna give you that word. I'm gonna do that. I can't help but do that, right? Like I didn't really know what next level talks is gonna be. I just knew I was gonna give y'all what God told me to give you. But I realized the influence that I have. And a lot of people oftentimes kind of ask my opinion. And so I wanna speak on something, man. Yeah, okay. They say, yeah, let's talk about what up, Bridget. Let's talk about current events for sure. And so, so not to get too deep into politics, but I've been really watching what's happening in the world when we talk about the SNAP benefits, right? Like when we talk about the SNAP benefits and food stamps and and what happens, when the country shuts down, the money, whatever happens, like how that affects people, and something deeply, listen to me, y'all, something deeply disturbed me. I saw a post that was put up online, and it had a picture of the SNAP benefit starter pack, and it had a picture of a weave. It had a picture of some long ghetto fake nails. It had another picture of some super long eyelashes. It had another picture of hot Cheetos and orange Fanta. I saw the orange Fanta. I ain't gonna lie. The orange Fanta and hot Cheetos took me out. But y'all see what I'm saying? Like, that hurt me. And somebody was just like, this is the SNAP benefits starter pack. Basically saying that people in urban communities really need that money from the government so that they can go and get their weave done, they can get their nails done, they can get these eyelashes done and stuff like that. And that bothered me. That bothered me to my core. And I was recently listening to an interview. On TV Well, this woman whose husband is on disability, watch this. Um, she works part-time for a school as a substitute teacher. And the school the district that she was in doesn't have the budget to like pay her long time, so she just substitute teaching. And she was basically, and they got 3 kids, and she was basically saying like, yo, I'm doing the best I can. My husband's on disability, so he gets a little bit of money. She's like, what I'm doing part-time, is helping to like cover our insurance and helping to cover like my car payment and our apartment. And so she was just like, I rely on that extra 125 a week or whatever it is she gets. She was like, I really rely on that so that we can eat. And I just want to just say, it pains me to know that there are millions of people, what I'm saying, and I'm praying this a short period of time, but it pains me to know that there are millions of people, man, that's doing the best they can. Does that make sense? And this narrative that it's just people in the hood that just want to buy ghetto stuff is of the devil, period. So I want to just say that. I feel bad. I want to get that off my chest. When I seen that post bothered me deeply. And watch this. Here's what hurt even more. To see 5,400 comments of people echoing the sentiments. I was like, yo, this is a evil in a very divisive world. And the reality is there is more that unites us than divides us. And I just hate the propaganda that's happening. I hate the evil that's happening. I hate the fact that people claim to be lovers of Christ but are not Christ-like. And folks are so judgmental. And it's sad. And I feel like that's why what we're building is important. Does that make sense? Come on and talk to me in the chat. I feel like that's why what we're building is important. It's important for us to be balanced. It's important for us to flow with love. It's important for us to focus on inclusion and to understand where other people are coming from. But you got a message, you got a heart, you got a voice, you got a story. It's important for you to share that. And so it's important for us to really truly show the character of Christ, not just use his name, not just say his name. Even in the word says that they claim they call my name, but their hearts are far from me. They proclaim my name, but their hearts are far from me. That's happening today. There are people that call themselves Christians, but in their hearts, they're not moving like Christ. And so when I saw that post, it hurt me. But when I saw this woman, she was just like, yo, I'm gonna do the best I can. She's like, I might try to drive Uber. Like, I'm not looking for a hand-me-out, but the blessing is that the country gives us a little support. But without it, I gotta figure out what I gotta do to pay my family. And this is somebody that just was dealt a bad hand. Husband on disability, she got 3 kids, she's doing the best she can, but then there are others that just put her in that category, and it pained me to see it. And so when we talk about being centered in the midst of chaos, when we talk about like how do you stay rooted, how do you stay grounded when we live in a very divisive world, when we live in a very mean world, when we live in a very destructive world where the energy seem off. And you know what? Let's just not even just focus on the world we live in. How do you stay rooted? How do you stay grounded? How do you stay centered in the midst of your own chaos? So some of y'all might be like, Jeremy, I ain't watched the news since 2021. I don't even see what's happening in the world. Some of y'all is feeling like outside of the world, in my home, I'm dealing with my own chaos. Put that to me in the chat. If some of y'all probably feel like, yeah, I see what's happening in the world. Some of y'all is like, I can't even handle the world. I got my own chaos that I'm dealing with right now. I've got my own trials that I'm dealing with right now. I've got my own circumstances that I'm dealing with right now. I've got my own persecutions that I'm dealing with right now. I've got my own issues and struggles that I'm dealing with right now. I can't even think and fathom about what's happening in the world because I've got some things that's going on in my world. And so I want to just kind of take a moment and speak to that. I got a few scriptures, and then I have an analogy that I want to share with you that I believe is going to help you, on this journey as you begin to grow, to kind of see, okay, what's the best way for me to navigate this space, okay? So the first scripture I want to share with you is Isaiah 26:3, which says, watch this. This is what I do. He will keep you in perfect peace. Those of you whose mind is stayed on him. Sit with it. It sounds so simple. I know it. The word of God says that God will keep you in not peace. Y'all tell me what kind of peace. Y'all tell me what kind of peace. Come on, talk to me. Come, talk to me. Tell me what kind of peace. It says God will keep you in blank peace. I want y'all to tell me in the chat what kind of peace. He will keep you in what kind of peace. Come on, talk to me. What kind of peace? Perfect peace. Whose minds are steadfast or stayed on him because they trust him. Now, I know it seems simple, but it's just a matter of us practicing it, right? In the morning times when I wake up, I take a audit of how I'm feeling. Before I even make my coffee, I take an audit of how I'm feeling internally. And I'll be feeling like, okay, I'm feeling heavy. Okay, let me focus on, and I can't even identify why. Let me just focus on all the things that are happening. Let me just focus on God. All right, God, you keep me in perfect peace if my mind is stayed on you. So I'm thinking about all the things God has done, all the ways he's come through for me, all the ways he's took care of me, all the ways he's provided for me, all the ways he's made a way, all the times he's come through in the clutch. I focus on that. I sit back and look around saying, okay, well, I've got my home, or my family sleeping safe. We not in no war zone. We got a little food in the refrigerator. Our utilities are still working. You know what I'm saying? Like, I shift my perspective. So that's my first offering to you. The word of God says he will keep you in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on him, steadfast on him. So I'm constantly, watch this, I'm constantly fixing my lens on Jesus. Now watch this here. If I was really prepared, Jerry, I would have showed them an example. I would have gave them an example. But let me just see if y'all can walk with me here. Have you ever been watching a movie or you know how the iPhone has this a thing called depth effect, where it's like you have a whole image, but you can make the background blurry and you can focus on that thing in the center. Have you ever seen that? Well, in cinematography, in filmmakers, and when movies and TV shows, that actually happens more than you realize it and don't even know. So you could be sitting here. I literally was watching something and there was a cop in the passenger seat. So imagine this. There's a cop in the driver's seat and there's their partner in the passenger seat. And so as the cop is talking, the camera is zoomed in on him and it's nice and sharp, but the partner is blurry. And then when the partner begins to speak, the driver gets blurry, but the partner gets sharp. Just put yes in the chat if you with me, right? Have you ever noticed that? It's like they zoomed in. The cop is driving, the one driver is talking, and he's basically saying, hey, with your training, you've been doing good, but you got to focus on this, you got to focus on that. And then when his partner begins to speak in the passenger seat, the camera lens, the director shifts it to where she is sharp and he is blurry because your focus should be on who's speaking. Now, you got to ask yourself here, who is in the center of your image? Who is in the center of your shot? Who is the one that you should be listening to? That's what you focus on. Imagine Jesus in the middle of Times Square. It's a whole bunch of rushers going on. It's a whole bunch of cabs is honking, people is talking, folks is walking by playing music. You got the billboards and lights, but you got the Messiah. In the midst of chaos, in the midst of stuff going on, and you grab your iPhone and you swipe it to portrait mode and you take a picture of him. Guess what's going to be sharp and guess what's going to be blurry? You fix your, there we go. Oh, come on, Jerry. Y'all better stop playing with my team. Gang. Do y'all see this? You see how the focus is sharp, but everything else is blurry. Why? Come on, Holy Ghost. This is not even my notes. Listen to what the Lord is saying to you. God is saying, you focus on who should be at the center. You focus on who can be at the center. Israel got a song that says, Jesus at the center of it all. No one else matters. You know what I'm saying? Like Jesus at the center of it all. How do you thrive? How do you stay centered in chaos? You just focus on the one in front, which is Jesus, the Messiah. You just focus on him. All the other stuff around you should be blurry. It don't mean you don't see it. You just don't give it no focus. It don't mean you don't see it. You just don't give it no energy. It don't mean you don't see it. You don't put your focus and attention there. You put your focus and attention on Jesus. You focus in on that center. You lock it on center. Everything else should be blurry. I promise y'all on God. I wake up in the morning and stuff be heavy. I be like, I gotta fix this. I gotta fix that. I gotta mention this. I gotta discuss this. I gotta put that fire out. I gotta get some challenges here. Let me focus, but I ain't gonna bump that. Jesus, Yahshua the Messiah. I'm like, man, God, you're so good to me. I put my focus, I shift my focus on him. So when his word says, like, hey, stay focused on me, that's what I'm on. I'm on. You know what? I'm just gonna stay focused on you. I ain't looking at nothing else. So I wanna offer to y'all Isaiah 26. He will keep you in perfect peace if your mind is stayed steadfast on him, trusting that he can deliver. So you'll be surprised what level you go to when you fix your focus. Come on, put that in the chat. Fix your focus. Come on, put that in the chat, Jet. Fix. Come on, who's gonna be the first one? Fix your focus. Listen to me, y'all. The world ain't gonna get crazier. And you know what's gonna have you stressed out? You know what's gonna have you overwhelmed? You know what's gonna have your anxiety through the roof? You know what's gonna have you stressed and depressed? You know what's gonna have you cloudy in the head, making all these crazy judgments, unfulfilled on inside? Is you focus on all these other things, and God is like, just lock in on me. Fix your focus. Fix your focus. Everything, I promise you, I be looking, seeing the whole picture, and I'm like, no. Let me fix that focus. And let me just focus on the center, and then everything else is blurry. Again, it's not that you're not gonna see it. I'm just telling you, I don't want you to focus on that. You fix your focus and you keep your focus, you keep your eyes on God and what God got for you. And everything else is gonna work itself out. You know what I'm saying? But he the main show. He the big show. I want to offer you one more here. Philippians 4:6-7. This is, everybody knows, you heard it before. Be anxious about nothing, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. It's so simple. He's like, don't be anxious about nothing. Yo, Jay, how do I stay calm? How do I be smooth in all the chaos in the world? Don't even be anxious, all that stuff. All those situations, like, you give that to God. You know that by prayer, it says by prayer, petition, making your request known to God. Watch this, with thanksgiving. So I be going to God like, hey, God, I'm grateful. I'm about to complain and I'm about to present a few things to you. But first thing you should know, big guy, I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank you for what you've done. It could be worse. I'm grateful. Now, I got a whole list of things I'm going to present to you. But first, just so you know, I'm thankful for all you've done for me so far. But I know you love me so much. You don't want me to have to carry all this stuff. Then I'll go and give my request to God. And the word of God says that the peace of God that transcends all understanding. Do y'all know what that means? Shh. That transcends all understanding. God is saying, I'm going to give you so much peace that it's not even going to make sense. Come on. God is, listen to me. This should be your prayer, my friends. Your prayer should be like, man, God, give me so much peace, even though my situation don't change, I got peace in my heart. That is crazy. That is wild. What does that look like? How can you be at peace in the midst of a storm? Like, hey, God, my situation didn't change. I remember one time I was talking to one of my homeboys, and I was kind of keeping him up to date with how things was going in my heart and my mind and my marriage and some things me and Tracy was trying to figure out. And he would check in with me. And I remember one day he hit me. It was like, yo, Jay, just checking in, bro. Been praying for you. How you doing? I was like, bro, God's so good. I said, bro, my heart is in such a good place. I was like, bro, I got so much peace within. He was like, for real? He was like, what changed? I said, nothing. Oh, y'all not hearing me. My man was just like, bro, I know you've been struggling. I know you've been in a weird place. I know you've been heavy fighting depression. This is like 2 years ago. I was just like, yeah, I'm going through it. And he was just like, I was like, bro, he checked in one day. I was like, bro, I'm good. I feel light. I can fly, bro. Like, he was like, really, what happened? What changed? I said, nothing. Situation's the same. I said, God just gave me peace within. My man was stumped. He didn't know he never heard him like that before. I was like, bro, it's time for me to start taking the word of God and for what it says. It says that be anxious for nothing but prayer and supplication and petition with thanksgiving, make your request known for God, and he will give you a perfect peace that don't even transcends understanding. I'm in a place now where I'm like, yo, God, you might not even change the situation, but change how I view the situation. That's what we about to shift. I'm telling you right now, we about to shift. You can't change the situation. God will change the situation. You just change how you view the situation. And you'll be surprised the miraculous peace that comes inside your life. Now, I've given you some scriptures for you to lean on, right? But I want to be very practical now. I've given you a biblical foundation. Shout out to all of y'all that's tapped in, that subscribed, that liked. If you haven't did it yet, what you waiting for? Stop playing. I don't know why you ain't hit that subscribe button. You probably subscribe to some cool stuff. You probably subscribe to some dodo stuff that ain't adding value to your life. I don't know who you be subscribed to on YouTube, but are they adding value like this? I don't know. If not, then you should subscribe, okay? Now watch this here. I've given you biblical references. I've given you a spiritual foundation, but let's be real practical because oftentimes we complain about the chaos. And it's understandable. So let me just tell you that. I'm not going to be that guy that's just like, why are you complaining about this? It's going to make you stronger. No. The chaos is weird. The chaos is frustrating. The chaos is annoying. You know what I'm saying? I can be very irritable with the chaos. Like, who don't want things to be smooth, cool, calm, collective? Like, the goal is for us to stay cool, calm, and collective. And I think of the story of Jesus when he was in the boat with the disciples and they was going from one part to another part and they was traveling by water to kind of have a separation from the people. And Jesus was on the boat and my man was knocked out and a crazy storm came. I'm talking about crazy storm came. They got buckets. They trying to toss the water out. Jesus, imagine this. They in the storm. This ain't no major cruise ship. This ain't no yacht with a covering. They soaking wet. And guess what Jesus doing? Y'all tell me, for those y'all familiar with the story, tell me in the chat what Jesus is doing. They in the storm. They about to drown. The disciples got buckets trying to get the water out while water coming in, and Jesus is laid down, knocked out. He sleep. He knocked out. Jesus, he almost snoring. He probably snoring. It's like somebody get him his CPAP. Jesus sitting here snoring. He probably ain't need no CPAP though. But y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know that they like, nah, you cutting it close there, Jay. But I'm saying he's sleeping so good. It's like, bro, how you got? And so the disciples wake him up like, and he's just like, guys, you with me. So he tells the wind, peace, be still. And the wind just calmed down. And they looking at him like, who is this? I'm like, yo, how you sleep like that? Like, what kind of peace you gotta have? I don't know about y'all, but I want that kind of peace. Here's the thing. He wasn't complaining about it. He was just in it. He was like, man, let me tell you something, bro. I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't going, but that was a lesson to teach the disciples. That was a lesson to teach them. Like, for one, look at how I'm asleep in the midst of the storm. And for two, look at how I can control the storm at any moment. That part. Look at the peace I had during the storm. And look at how any moment I can say, peace, be still. At any moment, I can put my hands up and calm the storm. At any moment. He could have did that. Now, some of y'all is thinking, yo, man, Jesus, like, but bro, if you was with them, why you even let the storm come? Well, sometimes he got to let storms come so that he can show you that he's still a way maker. So he can show you he's still a miracle worker. So he can show you he's still a promise keeper. So sometimes he's got to let these things happen so he can let you know this is what I do. Like, don't get it twisted. Watch me come through for you over and over and over again. And so I want you to get this inside your spirit. Because if you're like me, you want to change the storm. If you like me, you want to get out of the storm. If you like me, you want to like avoid the storm. If you like me, like I used to be, you know what I'm saying, you want to hurry up and shift it. I'm at a point now where I'm like, nah, I don't like it. I'm really on that all things work together for the good. I'm really on that God want me to be as powerful and as prolific and as purpose driven and as profitable. You better stop playing. Yes, God wants you to have wealth. Yes, God don't want you living check to check. Yes, God want to take care of you, right? There's a lesson, there's a process we are all going through. You know what I'm saying? And so you got to ask yourself here, like, okay, what is this? What is the chaos teaching me? How can I thrive in the chaos? Put the title up again, Jerry. I'm gonna call the audible here. The title for the day is how to stay centered in the chaos. I want to talk to you now about how to thrive in the chaos. Is that okay? Can I push out to the next level? I feel like the beginning part shows you how to stay centered in the chaos, right? The beginning part shows you how to navigate that space, like though it was heavy. But I want to show you now, not just how to stay centered in the chaos. Like, that's cool. I want to show you now how to thrive in the chaos. Have y'all heard of this thing that the Navy SEALs have to go through after a lot of training? It's called Hell Week. Hell Week for the Navy SEALs is about 5 days of intense training. A lot of them don't make it through. Out of these 5 days, you sleep approximately 4 hours total. A lot of your trainings is in water, underwater. A lot of it is on the shore, on the sand, really, really challenging conditions, taking guns apart, putting guns back together, doing push-ups, doing sit-ups, doing these workouts, carrying these huge like wooden planks and logs. Like, it is excruciating. And guess what? They still gotta come up out of the mud, hungry, tired, starved, exhausted, put that gun together, and still hit that target. Ain't that crazy? Like, they still have to go without sleep. They still have to go without food. You only eating, you know what I'm saying, a few times and in small portions. And guess what? It's during the cold. Yeah, they're not doing it in Malibu during the summertime when it's 75 degrees. They're doing it in the cold. So they're cold, they're hungry, they're tired, they're exhausted, they're in the water, they're out the water, push-ups, sit-ups, climbing up, dropping down, carrying this person, carrying weight, carrying a boulder, hitting the target, take the gun apart, put it back together. I ain't slept in a day and a half. Okay, we'll keep on going. 4 hours of sleep across 5 days. Hell week. Why? It's not just because those platoon sergeants and captains are mean. It's not because their superiors are jerks. It's not because the people who created this program just want to give them a hard time. They're preparing them for battle. And so some of y'all right now, the season that you're in is heavy. The season that you're in is challenging. The season that you're in is hard right now. It would be equivalent to hell week. But God don't want you weak. God wants you strong. God don't want you average. God wants you locked in. God wants you like Teflon. And so he's like, before I deploy you to the world, before I take you to that next level, before I give you this wealth, before I give you the abundance, before I give you the influence, challenges are always going to come. Like, the world ain't going to all of a sudden get better. I want you stronger. So I will allow you to go through hell week. I will allow you to go through suffering. I will allow you to go through hard times. I will allow you to go through persecutions and endure sleepless nights and work to exhaustion and go without food, because I'm preparing you for something greater. And when you come out of it, you're going to have a different anointing. When you come out of it, you're going to be strong. When you come out of it, you're going to be more powerful, and you won't be easily shaken. Some of you right now are too easily shaken. You go through something's hard, something challenging, something frustrates you. Somebody says something to you and it mess up your whole day. And God is like, Lord have mercy. Okay, so Lisa called you talking crazy and it done messed up your whole week, and you done lost all your religion, and my spirit done left you, and now you pissed off. I need you to be so strong. I need you, when somebody comes to you with an attitude, for you to realize, oh, she's struggling. Oh, she's just dealing with some depression. Oh, she's just deflecting. Hurt people hurt people. Let me intercede for her. Let me pass and pray for her. Let me cover her in prayer. Like, when your job and your boss start talking to you crazy, you don't take offense to it. You just know that's a spirit you battling with. That spirit ain't gonna jump on me. No. Greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. I done went through way heavier stuff. That's life for me. Let me cover you. Let me intercede for you. This not even gonna piss me off no more. You ain't got no control over my emotions. You ain't got no control over my day. Your energy, your temperament, your attitude, your behavior does not reflect how I feel. It don't make me feel a certain type of way. I'm still gonna flow in joy. I'm still gonna flow in peace. I'm still gonna flow in happiness. Why? Because I'm fortified. I done been there and done that. I done went through so much, doggone it. I'm strong now. I done went through the training. I done went through a hell week. Some of y'all went through a hell month. Some of y'all done went through a hell year, and you came out on the other side. And people is like, dang, girl, you so strong. They like, man, bro, you deep with it. Like, how do you move? How do you respond like this? Because I done been there and done that, and I came back stronger. I came back purified. I came back with clear thoughts and clear actions. And so whatever you throw my way, I'm ready for it, because ain't nothing new to me. I done already been there and done that. That's the mindset you gotta have. So for many of you, God is taking you through your own hell week. For many of you, God is like, yep, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to bring some challenges. I'm going to allow some suffering to come. I'm going to allow some persecution to come. I'm going to allow some hard times to come, so that when I deploy you to the world, you're ready for whatever comes your way. That's the next level for you. That's how I want you moving and operating. So you're not a victim no more. This is training ground. You ain't a victim no more. This is preparation ground. You ain't a victim no more. We're just getting you ready for that next level. You ain't a victim no more. We just need you to be so strong and anointed that when things come your way, you know how to respond how God would. You move from that, this is happening to me. Oh, this is happening for me. This is a chance for me to show the love of Christ. Because it's easy for me to show love to people when everything is smooth. It's easy for me to show love to people when they're not nice towards me. But when they got an attitude, oh, I can practice Christianity now. When they are mean towards you, when they are disgusting, when they're racist, when they're evil, it's like, oh, I can show you a different type of energy. I can move with a different type of ethos. I can move with love. I can have respect and reverence. Like, that's a different type of energy right now. Oh, you lost your job. Well, this ain't the first time I got fired. This ain't the first time God had to come through for me. He did it before, he'll do it again. Like, all the things you're going through is preparing for you to go to the next level. I don't want you just to be centered in the chaos. I want you to thrive in the chaos. I want you to be one of them individuals, like, whatever country you drop me off in, speaking military terms, whatever surroundings, whatever environment, whatever conditions you put me in, I'm going to be good. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to learn how to make that fire. I'm going to learn how to swim a few miles. I'm going to learn how to hunt for prey. I'm going to feed myself. I ain't going to rely on nobody but God. Like, in your mind, I want you to be so mentally strong in fortitude that whatever comes your way, God is like, I prepared you, my child, for this. Oh, my dear child, I prepared you for this. That's the mindset that I want you to have. That's the mindset that God wants you to have. So, yep, it's going to be weird. Yep. It's going to be challenging. Yep. It's going to be super hard. Life going to be hard, period. You might as well grow from it. Life's going to be hard, period. You might as well go through it. Life's going to be hard, period. And here's the beautiful thing. And this is what I want y'all to get in your spirit. So when I look at the Navy SEALs, right, and I see them training and I see them preparing, you know what you don't see? You don't see one person trying to carry that log. Thank you, God. You don't see, I promise you don't see one person trying to carry that log. You don't see one person there in the water, do you? You see them linked up. You see them linked up in arms in the water. I promise you, is there any pictures? You don't see one person carrying a book bag. He's not just carrying his brother. He got other people around him carrying somebody. You know why that's important? You know why that's important? It's because we're supposed to do life together. You'll be surprised the importance of proximity. That's why I got my nephew Jelani. I'm like, bro, pull up. He don't work for our company. He be volunteering. He be holding us down. I'm like, bro, you come with good energy. You come be around this energy like you're doing life with other people. So I want y'all to focus on that. How do you be centered in the chaos? How do you thrive in the chaos? You realize you're not doing it alone. And you'd be surprised what happened when you call your homeboy. And you be like, say, bro, man, I want to kind of share with you some things I'm going through. And then I want you to share with me some things you're going through. And then I'm going to give you 2 testimonies and 2 things I'm grateful for. And I want you to share with me 2 things you're grateful for. Y'all better stop playing with me. That's a whole other level of brotherhood and sisterhood and friendship right there. So you call your partner, you call your friend, you call your sister, you call your girlfriend, and you say, okay, let me tell you a few struggles, some things that's frustrating me. You tell me what's heavy on your heart. Okay, my turn now. I'm going to testify. Let me give you 3 things I'm grateful for, and I want you to give me 3 things you're grateful for. Okay, how can I pray for you? Okay, this is how you can pray for me. That's how you leverage relationships. That's how you leverage friendships. I promise y'all, when I be going back and forth with Crump and with CJ and with ET, like we swapping prayer requests, we swapping testimonials, you know what I'm saying? Like we swapping all of that. I promise you, I'm telling him, okay, these some of the struggles. They telling me, yep, this is what I'm going through. Okay, pray for me about this. Okay, what you grateful for? Like that's how we moving. So ain't no secret to it. I'm telling y'all right now, that's how we get by. Because I be needing to hear that other people is going through it. You know why a lot of y'all tap in with me? And I want y'all to put true or false in the chat. And if you don't have an opinion, if you know, that's fine. But I believe a lot of y'all tap in with me week in and week out is because I come on here and I'm vulnerable about my growth, because I'm vulnerable about my challenges, because I'm verbal about what I'm going through, because I'm not on here on some motivational stuff, and I'll never tell you nothing about what's going on in my world. And y'all done see me on here cry. Y'all done see me on here struggling. Y'all done see me on here sharing my heart. Y'all done see me on here being very vulnerable, very transparent. And a lot of y'all are fooling with me. Put true or false in the chat. A lot of y'all fool with me week in and week out because you like, yo, I can relate to him. Jay going through it just like me. And you feel like we in the water, arms linked. You feel like we carrying that big log together. You feel like I got somebody on my back, you got somebody on your back. And that's a different type of energy. And so I want you to make sure that you've got friends that you can talk to, friends that you can lean on, friends that you can minister with, and you can pray, and you can cover, and you can intercede. Watch this. Do it inside your home. Let me tell you something. I spoke for this youth conference a few weeks ago. And man, man, after I spoke for the youth conference, as I was getting ready to leave, they was like, Jeremy, can you do a small fireside chat? We got like a thing set up outside, like a little tent. Like, can you talk to some of the adults that are going to be working with the youth? Like some of the adults, some of the parents, like how can we best support and mobilize our young people? And so I pulled the parents out and some of the adults, and you know what I told them? I was like, you're gonna be surprised the spiritual growth that your children and these young people go through when you're more open to them, when you're more vulnerable with them, and you let them know everything ain't perfect. I said, a lot of y'all parents, y'all be coming to your kids and y'all be like, you pay all the bills and you don't never come to them with prayer requests. And I was like, and I get it because a lot of y'all don't want to put your burdens on your kids, but this is a chance for you to increase their faith. And they was like, look at me like they was crazy. I said, here's an example. When you know one of y'all got let go from your job and money is tight and you don't know how you're going to pay the mortgage, how powerful is it when you sit your kids down and say, hey, kids, come here. Before y'all leave for school, let's just pray. Today the mortgage is due or the mortgage is due next week. And we're not exactly sure how we're going to pay it. So let's just pray as a family. And we're believing as a family that God's going to deliver us. I told them folks, I said, do y'all know what that does for the spiritual growth and development of those kids? Because right now the kids are looking at you like you the savior. Right now they're looking at you like you make a way. Right now they're looking at you like, yeah, because you hardworking, that pays the bill. And then God is not even in the equation. And then you wonder why when they become adults, their faith might be rocky. Well, what happens when they 6 and they 8 and they're 14 and they're 17 and they're like, my mom and daddy done told me a whole bunch of times, we ain't got it. We don't know how it's going to happen. And God come through over and over and over again. Now, when they get their own apartment, they can stand on that foundation because you done already showed them this is what faith looks like. Does that make sense, y'all? Just let me know in the chat if that makes sense. And so I remember doing that often with my family. Do y'all know my little boy came and said to me yesterday? I put this on Instagram for those of y'all that's tapped in with me on Instagram. My little boy Jackson came to me and was like, Daddy, I've had a migraine all day. My head's been hurting all day. My little boy said, Daddy, can you lay hands on me and pray for me? What? Oh, y'all hearing me? What's up, Carla? My little man was just like, he was literally like, Daddy, can you? And I was like, absolutely not. I laid my hands on his hair and I prayed over him and I was kissing his forehead. And he was like, thank you, Daddy. My man went and laid down in his room. And I specifically prayed like, God, this is a chance for you to show him the power of prayer. I was like, God, heal my little buddy. Make it miraculous. Make it soon. He been dealing with this headache all day, Lord. Heal him. Show him how powerful you are. My man went to his bedroom. I promise you, 30 minutes later, my man was bouncing all over the place. Daddy, let's play ping pong. Daddy, let's play keep the ball in the air. I'm like, how you do that? I hit it and you can't let it hit the floor. And you got to keep hitting it. I'm like, what a headache. He's like, it's gone, Daddy. I said, ooh, look at God. Are y'all hearing me? These Navy SEALs, these SEAL teams, and it's the same with the Army. It's the same with the Marine. Like there is training you have to go through, and there are very unforgiving, very painful, very challenging, very hard circumstances that they have to go through because they still want to be efficient throughout it. And that's what I want you to get today. I want you to understand the importance of you every single day saying, you know what do I got to do to put myself in the best position? What do I got to do to make sure I grow and thrive in the midst of chaos? I can't change my situation right now. I can't change my surroundings right now. I can't change my circumstances right now. But what I can do is I can shift my perspective is I can still speak life. I can still be a blessing. I can still encourage others. I can still worship. I can still practice gratitude. I can still show up as my best self, even though I'm not in the best situation. Come on. When you show up as your best self, even when you're not in the best situation, that's when your life goes to a whole nother level. Because let me tell you something. Let me be crystal clear. Here's a clip. You're going to love this here. A lot of people in life show up and they're doing good and they're thriving and they're handling their business. I'm not impressed when people do well when circumstances is challenging. Let me say this again. Let me say it another way. There are people that show up on a regular basis and they're winning and they're thriving and they're on point and they're hitting their numbers. I'm not impressed by success like that. I'm impressed when you're thriving and you're handling your business and you're hitting your numbers in the face of challenges, in the face of adversity. It's easy for people to thrive. It's easy for people to grow. It's easy for people to experience success when everything is working out perfectly. I have success. I revere. I have such love and respect for those who fight through challenging times, who still show up in the face of adversity, who still handle their business during uncertain times. It's easy for somebody to handle their business when everything is working out perfectly. But the greats show up. The greats handle their business. The greats come to a whole other level when challenges are around them and uncertain times, and they're dealing with frustration and they're dealing with hardships, but they still fight through and operate at the highest level. Why do you think we revere Kobe so much? Kobe, man, my man tore his Achilles and still went and hit the game with a shot. Jordan had the flu and had one of the most iconic games because he was like, I ain't gonna let this flu kick me down. And when the game was over, they had to carry him off the court. We don't just love and respect and revere those who do well. We love and respect and revere those like you. I believe it's like you that says, in the face of adversity, in the face of challenging, in the midst of hard times, I will still push through and give my absolute best. Your absolute best might not be 100%. If the best you can give me is 76, give me 76, doggone it. If the best you can give me is 69, give me 69, doggone it. If the best you can give me is 81, give me what you got. And that right there is enough. I'm so grateful for y'all not giggling when I say give me 69. Now, let's close. Y'all, wow for that. All right, listen to me. Watch this here. Wait till you hear your story. Yeah. Come on, somebody. Mr. Great Day said, man, you're walking down my street. All right, so listen to me. Hear me clearly. I believe we are all going to go through challenges. I believe we're all going to go through hard times. I believe we're all going to go through all sorts of weird times and seasons. There's going to be a whole lot of chaos that we have to go through. That's life, y'all. We want you to stay centered. We want you to stay grounded. And then we want to help you thrive throughout it. Like, that's that next level for you. We want you to stay centered. We want you to stay grounded. And we want you to be able to thrive throughout those circumstances, knowing on the inside that God will take you to a whole other level, knowing that's par for the course. So now when the word says count it all joy, when you go through fiery trials, persecution, and hard times, it's so that you're not lacking nothing. You know what I'm saying? Your perseverance produces your faith. Like, that's where you want to be. So you want to be centered, you want to be grounded, and then you want to be able to thrive through those circumstances. And I believe that's what's going to take you to a whole nother level. So trust me, I get it. I know how weird it can be. I know how frustrating it can be. But the reality is we can't change our situations. You know what I'm saying? But we can change how we view it, and we can change how we move and operate. And now some of us, let me clarify something. Some of us can change our situations because some of us are in environments and situations that God doesn't want you in. And so that's when you got to use discernment to say, you know what? I hear you, Jay, but I can actually do something about where I am right now. So I'm going to make those adjustments. All right, that's my offering to you. I hope that was helpful. I'm ready for your questions. Drop them in the chat. If you got the video, boy, my team is going to put the link right there. But I want to be able to kind of have this opportunity now to be able to see what's on your mind, see what's on your heart, answer any questions you might have, okay? Yeah, come on. Drop them in the chat. Faraday, what's up, fam? I love that so much. I'm at work, but God is good to let me hear this. Wow, thank you, Jesus. Hey, thank you for tapping in, Faraday. Good to see you. Good to see you this weekend too, my brother. CB Horror 5671. I'm doing just what you said. Pouring out probably doesn't help. Pouring out probably doesn't help others. They need our examples to carry on, carry through. Yeah. And so, here's the thing. You pour out, you pour into them, you mentor, you guide, you give game, you be a blessing to them. But sometimes when others see what you got going on, like, it just helps them feel like, okay, I'm not alone. You know what I'm saying? Karen, well, Karen says you're spot on. Thanks for your honesty. Absolutely. Yep. Patterson 4330 said God used you today, man. I love it. So do me a favor, put your questions in the chat. I want to take 20-30 minutes or so to answer your questions, or if you want to come on video, on camera, live, the link is right there in the right there below. But drop your questions in the chat or click the link. Keisha, what up, sis? Driving, but thankful for the message today. I can't wait to be with y'all in a couple of weeks. I think it's not this weekend, but next weekend. Yeah, we'll be in Memphis. So looking forward to seeing you there, sis. Really, really, really excited for that. Yeah, that's gonna be great. Yeah, wings up, keep flying. I know that's right. Some days you might be at 40 to 60 and giving energy and effort, but then another day you can give 120. Absolutely, absolutely. Now, check this out. I've had to tell people before, and I've said this on stage, because sometimes when I'm speaking, folks feel like, oh, you gotta give 100%. What if you don't have 100%? I'm like, I never say give 100%. I say you just give all you got. So if you got 67, if you got 52, if you got 81, just give us what you have, because that is actually 100% of what you have, right? And so that's what you want to really focus on right there. Let's see here. Here. Thank you for Saturday in my life. I have received a message. Yeah, put it up. Yeah, what up, Cedric? Yeah, what's up, big bro? Good to see you, man. What's up, family? Jamar, what's happening?
Oh, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Yep.
Okay, yeah. So, I'm just tapping back in, man, from last week, and so I did a lot of soul searching, man, and I realized that I need to heal, and
Hmm.
so it coincides exactly with what you're talking about today, and so I've been through a lot, and recently, my mother passed, and just going through a lot, man. Dealt with some financial struggles, dealt with some personal stuff. And so I'm asking you today, how do, because I feel like I'm bleeding on my family. Like I still got open wounds. And so I'm trying to figure out, how do I heal? And you talk a lot about being vulnerable while still operating in them roles as a father, as a provider, a protector, a husband. When everybody leaning on me, and I'm leaning on God. Trust me, I'm leaning on God. It's just my father and my mother are gone, and those were like my physical people I could grab and hold, and when I'm going through something. And so my family, they lean on me, and I don't necessarily feel like I have somebody to lean on. And so I'm asking you, how do I heal when everybody need me, and I need somebody as well?
Yep. Great question, man. And I want to offer my condolences, man, to your mom recently passing.
Yes,
Um,
sir. I
and I
appreciate that.
get it. I can understand in the sense how you like, man, before when I was going through my challenges and issues and financial concerns and just the weight of life, I could go to my mom's, I can go to pops, and now you don't have that person. So what I want you to do now is I want you to think, man, like, okay, who do I have that I can talk to, right? Outside of my family, like what brother, what friend, what OG do I have? And watch this. You might not even have right now that relationship with them, like, you know what I'm saying, like, but you might, but like it might be an OG at work, or it might be somebody else that you know, and y'all ain't close like that, but you like, yo, this guy is really solid, he's really rooted, he always got, you want to find a safe space to be able to talk, right? And I feel like, let me tell you something, this is a bold statement. I feel like everybody should have a counselor or therapist. You know what I'm saying? Just to process life. Some people feel like you got to be dealing with the most epic stuff. It's just like, nah. I feel like folks need to have, it's in a safe space. So I want you to pray about that. Like, okay, God, do I get the Better Help app? Do I tap in with some folks in the community? Like, how do I find a counselor, somebody to talk to? In addition to some friends, some homeboys, some other godly men that can pour into you. So that's the first thing. But I feel like the fact that you being on here is huge. The fact that you letting us know where you are right now, that's huge. And the fact that you going to God, like, that's huge. You know what I'm saying? Are you married?
Yeah.
So let me tell you something, bro. So sharing that with your wife, that's not bleeding on her. But you just ask her, like, hey, babe, do you got the bandwidth? Just ask her, like, hey, babe, do you have like some time? Like, how you doing emotionally right now? I kind of want to share some stuff I've been sitting with, but I also want to be mindful of how you feeling. And out of everybody in the world, I want to share that with you. You know what I'm saying? And then like sit down, and then depending on the relationship and how she's feeling the bandwidth, just kind of share a few things. And watch this. And this what you tell her, bro. Man, babe, I'm not even like asking for advice. I'm not even need you to be a counselor. I just kind of want to be able to kind of talk through some of the stuff I got going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised, bro. But you gotta be intentional to say, hey, babe, I'm gonna find some other professionals to talk to, but to let her know, like, I feel safe talking to you. Like, when you got the time, if I could take 20, 30 minutes, just kind of share what's on my heart. I kind of just all over the place. And I know you talk to your wife, but I'm talking about a dedicated conversation where you can just say, man, this is how I'm feeling. But make sure she knows, boo, I'm not expecting you to be a counselor. I just kind of want to get some of this stuff out. Does that make sense, fam?
Nah, that's
I,
solid.
I would say definitely do that, and it takes some humbling, it takes some vulnerability, because here's the reality: as men, we don't want to look weak to our wives. We don't want to look like we don't have it all together. We want to look like the strong ones. You know what I'm saying? And so I wanna let you know, like, I get that, but I also get. But here's the thing, bro. We not fooling our wives. They see the real us. They know we not robots. They know we got feelings and emotions. And I'm praying for you, man, that you can experience what I've been experiencing lately. But this past year, Tracy been in tune with me like never before, bro. My wife be like, babe, how's your heart? How are your needs being met? How are you feeling? I feel a weight. I couldn't sleep last night. I feel like you're going through something. You could talk to me about anything, no judgment. And I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm gonna talk to the counselor. She's like, just know I'm here. And then after I have my counseling session, she'd be like, anything you want to talk. So let me tell you something. I'd be looking forward to getting off my counseling session so I can go to Tracy and tell her what I learned and what I figured out, and I can share my thoughts and feelings. And it's on best friend vibes. And so, and because here's the thing, because my wife is healthy and healed, she knows in order for me to go to the next level, in order for our family to go to the next level, she got to be able to create the space for me to be able to say, this is how I'm feeling. And she's got to be able to wrap her arms around me and say, you got this, boo. I understand you. I hear you. Now go and be our fearless leader. Now go and be my fearless husband. Now go and take care of our family. But I'm going to make sure when you come back from battle, come on, bro. When you come back from battle, I'm going to take care of your wounds. I'm going to wash your face. I'm going to sharpen your sword. I'm going to make sure you're in the best position. I'm going to make sure you're nourished so you can go back out here and take care of our family. And so that's the mindset, bro. You humble yourself and say, babe, I need you. Say, in order for me to show up every single day and be who you need me to be, I need you, babe. I need to be able to lay my head on your soft bosom. I need to be able to talk about how I'm feeling. I need for you just to hear me out. Let me just get this out. So until you find someone else, I believe God has blessed you with that person, with your wife, brother. I'm proud of you. Thank you for being vulnerable in this space to let us know how you're feeling. Again, praying for you as you healing the loss of your mom and your dad. But man, stay the course. Keep seeking God. Open that conversation, that dialogue up with your wife. But then ask God, like, God, it's some other brothers, it's some other men that's positive that I can build with, and just open up that conversation. Open up that dialogue, bro. And let me tell you something. You got no clue what they might be keeping in as well, and you make sure you're a safe space for them, okay?
Hey, I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, fam. Blessings, bro. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Yep.
Your brother Andre says, how do I divide my time between my purpose, which is helping entrepreneurs understand intellectual property, and my passion, which is serving teens and young fathers?
How do I divide my time between my purpose, which is helping entrepreneurs understand intellectual property? So let me ask you a question, Andre. Is that what you do for a living? Helping entrepreneurs understand intellectual property. So like, are you like an attorney? Like, tell me real quick in the chat before I give you this advice, because I want to know if that's something you're passionate about, or if that's actually your background. You got degrees, training, certifications, like on you know, because I know a few lawyers that teach on intellectual property, right? And then my passion, which is serving teens and young fathers. So let me tell you something. Those are three completely different audiences. And so I have been working with entrepreneurs for years. I'm a lawyer by training. Got it. That makes sense. So you're a lawyer by training, working with entrepreneurs. So now your question is, so now you got to ask yourself this, Andre, um, and my passion. So how do I divide my time between my purpose and my passion? Let me sit with that. Because you're saying my purpose is helping individuals understand the importance of their intellectual property, like that's what you do for a living, but then your passion is serving teens and young fathers. Um, a part of me, help me God, a part of me wants to say, I'm not going to be quick to answer if I don't know the answer right away. So that's why I want to sit with it for a minute, because sometimes we can get purpose and passion confused. You know what I'm saying? Because your purpose can be bigger than just helping entrepreneurs understand, what I'm saying, their importance of intellectual property. Like that's and truth be told, bro, you being an attorney, that's really a drop in the bucket of what you can do for entrepreneurs. Like intellectual property is one thing, but how do you protect yourself and your assets in so many other areas in your brand? And so it's a lot more you can offer there. But one would also say that depending on how passionate you are about speaking and serving to teams, that could be in alignment with your purpose as well. So there are some people that have a profession, what they do a trade like for their profession, then their purpose, then their passion. So this is kind of a complex question. Now, if you're talking about in the veins of you being a speaker and you trying to figure out, okay, how do I divide my time? Because if you are an attorney now, and tell me real quick in the chat, what type of attorney are you? And I founded a nonprofit for teen fathers in 2008, doing both. Okay. So let me ask you a question here. With your nonprofit, helping teen fathers. So go back to the first question. Put the first question up. And my passion, which is serving teens and young fathers. So when you say teens, are you talking about like speaking to young people, specifically speaking to teens? Tell me that, because I see your nonprofit is helping teen fathers. So I want to make sure I'm not getting it confused. And then you say helping young fathers. And so, um, and then and let me ask you a question here. Are you looking to build a speaking profession and brand? If that's your ultimate goal, I get it. Teen fathers and young fathers. Okay, that's the clarity I wanted. So you're not looking just to speak to teens. You're not looking to go to high schools and speak to teenagers and encourage them. Because I was about to go somewhere, but I want to make sure that's not the case, right? So you're saying you've been speaking to teen fathers and young fathers. Okay, so if you have a kid 16, 17, 18 or 20, 21 and you young or you a teen father, that's been your passion by helping them, but not necessarily just speaking to a group of high school students, correct? So and if that's the case, you would have said that. So let me just stay with teen fathers and young fathers. So some people have passions and might have a purpose within particular audiences. You can kill the question now, Jerry. In particular audiences that don't necessarily call for people to be keynote speakers and get paid by it, right? Like that is a super niche audience, right? It's one thing for you to speak to men as a whole. Imagine it like a funnel. Imagine it like a funnel, right? See you later, Pam. Imagine at the top, you're speaking to men as a whole. Then you're speaking to men who are husbands and men who are husbands and fathers, and then men who are young fathers and teen fathers. So it's very lean, it's very narrow. So I could see you having a very strong and smooth, successful speaking business when you're speaking to men as a whole or entrepreneurs as a whole. But I don't know how many conferences are looking for speakers to say, come in and speak to an audience of teen fathers. I've actually never heard of conferences for young fathers or teen fathers. I've heard of men's conferences. I've heard of some father conferences, but I've never heard of conferences for men, for young men, or for teen fathers. And so I'm cautious of you building a whole brand around that. The question you have to ask yourself is, the question you have to ask yourself, Andre, is what do I have inside that can speak to men as a whole? Because I often tell people when you're trying to figure out your audience, it's three-man question you want to ask yourself. What audience and group of people can most benefit from your story? Who can you add the most value to? And so when you ask yourself those two questions, you might say, okay, like young men or teen fathers. But then the third question is, what audience gives you the most opportunities to get booked to speak? Now, if you say, I hear you, Jay, but I'm not trying to speak to men as a whole. I'm not trying to help cats be great husbands. I'm not trying to help men, you know what I'm saying, overcome lust and be men of integrity. And like, I'm not trying to help men overall. I really just feel like I've been called to speak to young men who are fathers and teenage fathers. If that's the case, start a podcast. Like start a podcast. That way, young men and teen fathers and young fathers can tap in with the podcast and you can coach them and guide them on what it looks like for them to be young fathers, teen fathers, still trying to figure things out, healing from the absence of their own fathers. That's a podcast. Do you have a keynote speech that you can stand on stage and deliver to them? Absolutely. I just don't know how many audiences. Does that make sense, bro? Tell me in the chat. I just don't know how many conferences are looking for speakers for that because that's so narrow and so niche. Now, if you take some time over the next weeks, months, days to pray, fast, and you feel like, you know what, I have a lot to offer to men as a whole. You might do something with you being an attorney, you know what I'm saying, and what you're offering when it comes to that. What was the initial question? When it comes to that, their what was that first question? When it comes to their intellectual property, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe there's a crafty way where you can kind of speak to that, but you could talk about the intellectual property of your last name. Come on, the intellectual property of your manhood, the intellectual property of your family, the intellectual property of your legacy as an attorney, and the legal rights as a child of the kingdom of God. Like it's a lot you can do with that. And so you really want to pray on that. You said you're making it clear. Thanks. Entrepreneurs is an audience I have been working with. Okay, great. Well, then there it is. As long as you have an audience like that you've been working with, then that's cool. But if you start to feel a longing on your heart where you're like, man, there's so much more I want to offer to these young men. Because think about it, bro. It's not just how do you father, how do you save? You know what I'm saying? How do you excel at your job so you can get a increase and start having enough money to buy the house and to put aside some money to invest for your kids? Like, even though you're a young father, like, you know what I'm saying? We want them thinking bigger. So it's more than just parenting tips. So just pray on it because I feel like you have a whole lot more to share when it comes to many young men as well. But thank you for that question. And I'm glad I was able to add some clarity. Yep. Ebony said a good thing. Make sure you have a problem to solve. And so look, with all of y'all in the different audiences that you all are in and you're speaking to, make sure you have a problem to solve. Make sure you ask yourself, okay, what are the 3 problems that I'm gonna solve if I'm speaking to this particular audience? Yep. Yep. Okay, great. All right, what question y'all have? While all this chit chat y'all got going on, y'all got my ADD. Put the camera on y'all. Y'all got my ADD in overload. They over here laughing and whispering and high fiving and sharing notes, and I'm trying to be present. It's okay. It's okay. You know, I'm just in my discipline locked in bag. Lord, heck, we got a live one. Give it to me because y'all was going live too. Hey.
Hi, good
How,
morning,
good
everyone.
morning.
My name is Lankea, and I have a parenting question.
Okay.
So, what are some things that I can do as a parent for my daughter, or things to just keep in mind to shape and develop our bond, our trust that helps her to be a well rounded individual? And I know you to be a parent, so what are some things that wasn't a big deal maybe when they were younger, but as they grew older, it was more difficult to correct? And yeah, just your perspective and advice on that.
How old is your daughter?
She's a toddler, she's 3, and I keep her very busy. I keep her very busy because her mind, she's just so brilliant. So I'm always trying to just keep things in mind as I'm noticing that her personality is developing and she's copying people and she's listening and she's remembering things. So I'm trying to be even more intentional now.
Okay, good. Thank you for that question. And so, what I would recommend is so you want a foundational stuff. You foundationally, you praying with her, you making sure she has a relationship with God, her own personal relationship with God. Like you want to, of course, make sure that foundation is there. But then when she gets of age, it's going to be really that quality time. And then that you spend with her, and really asking her questions, really making sure she understands, because kids are sponges. And I
Mm-hmm.
think when Jewel was young, I probably would have answered more questions. You know what I'm saying? Like I probably would have been even more present with her. Because
Okay.
when they get older, they don't ask as many questions. Right? It's
Mm.
like when they're young, they're asking a ton of questions, but as they
Mm-hmm.
get older, they ask less and less because they feel like they know more and more. Right. And
Mm.
so I feel like we are all growing and evolving. With my daughter Jewel, I kept her away from electronics. She didn't get her phone until this year when she became a teenager, and so for me that was important. She did have an iPad. We will monitor it, monitor what she's watching, etc. And so that influence, that they get online is really a thing, so you really want to make sure that spiritual foundation is there. But now, but it's different too with when it comes to boys and girls, because girls have that different level of hormones, and so and the relationships between the mother and the daughter, and then the father and the daughter, and then that dynamic is different. So I'm even kind of going through this morning. I was talking to Jewel, and I was just like, okay, I'm getting on her about some schoolwork, and I can be very stern and very direct, but then I feel like God was like, okay, all right, be balanced now. Like remind her about what she did good yesterday, and how good job she did with the kitchen, and how she's been working with her brother. So I'm trying to be balanced of all of that and giving her more responsibilities, right? So I would say for your sweet daughter at this age, at this toddler age, loving on her, praying with her, making sure she has that relationship with God. But then as she gets older and you start giving her more responsibilities, you start holding more accountable. Like I probably would have ran a more tight ship, you know what I'm saying? Because I was a girl dad and I was so weak on my daughter because she was just like, but daddy, and I give in. And I say, if you ask me one more time, and she found a creative way, well, would you consider? And I'm like, that's so
She
good.
gets
Would
my
I
husband
consider?
every
Yes.
time. She gets my husband every time. She don't get me. They know who to play with. They know who's serious.
For sure. And so watch this. And so to all the couples. So one thing I start doing now is I start having, because I was the yes and Tracy was the no. So now we
Yeah.
flipped it so that we're
Mm,
balanced, and our kids don't know it. So now I have to make sure
mm,
Jack went around the corner because he's home today. So now I'm the person that says no. And I'm like,
mm.
no, go ask your mom. And then Tracy, now I put her in a position. Does that make sense? I put
Yeah.
her in a position to be the good cop, right? I put her in a position to be the one
Yeah.
that says yes, because they would always come to me. And so now it's like, okay, let me flip these roles so that we're balanced. And I'm saying no to stuff. And Jewel and Tracy's like, you know what? I actually don't mind. Tell your father I said it's okay. So they're like, well, mommy says it's okay. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And then I make sure they know that we're in one accord, but I make sure I kind of give her that power, and then we flip flop on that good cop, bad cop, if that makes sense.
Yes, that
Yep.
that makes. Thank
Appreciate the
you.
question. Yes. Let's see here.
I think my current message is to just focus on one thing while learning in the AI community with Nikki and the Academy, forming this business and being a mom. But how do you focus on one thing when you do wear multiple hats? What does that look like? I know it's not ADHD, it's truly multitasking. I believe. What can you add to this?
Let me see the first question. I think my current message is to just focus on one thing. While learning in the AI community with Nikki in the academy, forming the business and being a mom. So look, so here's the thing, Legna, go back to the first one. So what you're learning in the AI community should just help you when it comes to your speaking business, right? I don't want you to start learning this and then start teaching AI and becoming an AI guru, right? Like I remember your message that you shared at the mastermind. I remember how compelled I was. I remember how my heart was pricked. So you want to really stay in that lane with that audience. If that's the last thing that God told you to do, you just what you're learning with Nikki and AI, you just use that stuff to kind of enhance your message, right? But the biggest thing that you can focus on right now is building out that brand as a speaker. What's going to be even more important in AI is some of the basic fundamental stuff, that brand, that logo, that website, that speaker reel. You understanding who your audience is, what your message is. Once you have all that stuff dialed in, then you start leaning in on AI to kind of enhance it. then you start leaning in on AI to help you get there faster. You know what I'm saying? And so you want to focus on making sure you have that foundational work, that groundwork, have those essential things in place. Then go to the next thing. And then when you talk about, and then being in the academy and being a mom, go to the first one. Being in the academy, forming the business and being a mom. So first and foremost is you take care of you. Secondly, you're a mom. Third, you're building your business. Fourth is AI. So if you need to put AI on the shelf until Q2 of next year, then do it. But don't be a mom and then you gotta be you. So you gotta be Legna, then you gotta be a mom. You know what I'm saying? Then you gotta build your business and you're still working. Like that's a lot. And then you mix AI on top of that trying to keep up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Make sure your stuff is foundationally set. It's like those that say, Jay, I want to start a podcast. Or I want to write a book. It's like, well, are you trying to do that while you're kicking off your speaking business? It's going to be hard. Get the speaking thing up and running. And then you use the book and the podcast to add gasoline to the fire you've already started. So I want AI to be the fire that you've already started. Now I go to that second part of the question. But how do I focus on one thing when you wear multiple hats? What does that look like? I know it's not easy, it's multitasking. Yes, it's multitasking. It's multitasking. So you gotta look at your life, you gotta look at the 24 hours of the day. How many hours do you need to sleep? 6 to 8. There are some people that sleep 8 hours a day. Well, guess what? A third of the day you are asleep. That's cool. For those of y'all that sleep 6 hours a day, well, guess what? A quarter of the day you're asleep, and that's cool, and that's okay, right? So whether you sleep 6, 7, 8 hours a day, definitely shouldn't be sleeping 10 hours a day. And if you're sleeping 4 or 5 hours a day, that's not healthy. You need more sleep, right? 6 to 8 hours a day. Then you got to think like, what are you doing with those rest of the hours? How much you're driving, your time with God, working out, your personal time to make sure you keep your mind and your body intact. And then of course you want to be a mom, and then you want to have some time at the end of the day to read a book, to watch a show. That's your you time at the end of the day. But what do you do between when you wake up, you work out, you have your personal time with God, to when you end the day, you put your babies to sleep, and then you enjoy your little TV show, you read your book, you have you some tea, you go to bed. What do you do between them to be a mom, to be an entrepreneur, to build out your business? That's what you want to focus on. And you want to have a schedule. You want to be as disciplined, you want to be as locked in, you want to be as structured, you want to be as organized as possible. I wear a lot of hats. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing a lot of different things. A lot of that y'all really don't even know and have no clue. And my hand is, and a lot of things I'm not doing, my hand is still in it and it's evolved. I'm always thinking weeks and months and years ahead. And so it takes a lot, but I have to compartmentalize it. And I gotta have that quiet, safe space to kind of think about it all. And then I gotta say, okay, this is a priority. I'm gonna focus on this later. I'm only gonna focus on this right now. So you want to slow it down. You want to be structured. You want to be disciplined. You want to be more organized, and you pace out your day from there. All right. I hope that was helpful.
Datrian, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, says the door has finally opened for me to lead a men's overcomers group at my church, but I'm starting to feel inadequate about being called to serve in this space. How should I approach this?
We're gonna come right back to that. Alegna said, books. You writing the book. You writing the student curriculum. Hosting a virtual and in-person training soon. What's that virtual and in-person training for? Tell me that, because I'm finna shut it down, but I want to know what it is first. Tell me real quick. Tell me real quick, Legna. What is that virtual and in-person training for? Before I tell you, you shouldn't be doing that. I don't want to give you that advice. Um, Come on, I'll wait. You got to be quick with it. Yeah. Books, student curriculum, hosting a virtual and in person. Don't write a paragraph. Give me a sentence, hit send. Give me another sentence, hit send. And then another sentence and hit send. You probably trying to fully explain. Just give me something really quick so I can speak to that. And then we kind of roll through it, okay? Because I don't want to go to the next question so quick. I want to make sure we got you all the way sorted. Um, Angelia, you funny. All right, like okay, I practice for financial security handbook. I have a pay one in February, so I wanted to practice. I don't know. I don't know. You're practicing for financial security, but is your audience you're speaking to is not Financial security. I remember your message at the mastermind. And maybe that was just something you were doing for the 10 minutes, but I remember you were specifically speaking. I remember you were specifically speaking on the lack of food and nutrition and the food insecurities and why we need to give and why we need to support because there are folks that are hungry in the movement. But is that not your audience? Like, give me some clarity. Now, this is the video I need to come on the screen. A paid virtual in February conference. So I wanted to practice one for me to host with my student curriculum. Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. Let me just say this, Legna. Let me just say this. I want all of y'all to get that in your spirit. Get the question out of here. So Legna, I remember what you shared at the mastermind. It touched me deeply. Maybe that's not the audience. Maybe that was just something you did for the mastermind. You can come on the Zoom. All right, come on. Come on. While y'all setting that up, is it ready? If not, I'm gonna tackle my man's other question. All right, let's hit my man's other question where y'all get her ready. And we're gonna do quick though, Ligna. But I do wanna tackle it. The door is finally open for me to lead a men's overcomers group at my church, but I'm still starting to feel inadequate about being called to serve in this place. How should I approach this? All right, is it God telling you? Is it God? Now, if God is telling you you ain't got no business, then shame on you and shame on the pastor for letting you do it. But if you like, no, 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 God definitely told me to do it. And obviously I got confirmation because this church believes in it and they're gonna help me with this overcomers group, then you dealing with imposter syndrome. You dealing with lies of the devil. Let me ask you a question. Do you think the enemy will want you to do this beyond how you're feeling inadequate? Because their feelings will fail you. It's a whole bunch of folks that's out here in prison because of their feelings. It's a whole bunch of folks divorced because of their feelings. It's a whole bunch of people that's unemployed right now because they was in their feelings. So your feelings can confuse you and throw you off, my brother. And look, watch this. I've dealt with that too. So past those feelings, has God called you to do this? Is this something you're passionate about? Do you have something to say? Come on, bro. You an overcomer. I remember you sharing with us what you've overcome and what you've gone through. And the church has opened the doors for you to put together this group and this event. Push past those feelings. This ain't about you. Let me tell you what I used to do. I was gonna say me and you. Maybe it's not me and you. But I used to focus on how it's gonna make me look, what they're gonna think about me. And God was like, brother, it's not even about you. My people is hurting, men are hurting, kids are hurting. They trying to figure it out. You got something to say. It ain't even about you. I saved you. I redeemed you. I call you for this work. Do I gotta hit you with a classic? God don't call the qualified, he qualifies the call. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. Walk in it. Bump them feelings. Your feelings will forsake you. I like that. I'm about to make a t-shirt that say your feelings will forsake you. You hear me, bro? You walk in, don't walk on those feelings. You walk on facts. You've overcome. You walk on facts. You are a man and a man of God. You walk on facts. God has called you to do this work. You walk on facts. This church obviously sees the value that you have within, my brother. They obviously feel that you are adequate, which is why they let you step up into leadership. Those are facts. Those feelings is from the enemy. So move past those feelings and you do what God called you to do, my brother. We proud of you. I'm proud of you. Thank you for sharing that question, but I had to get on you real quick because I want you to get rid of those feelings because those feelings will forsake you and you focus on those facts. All right, is Legna ready? All right, let's go, sis. Legna, I got some questions for
Okay.
you. Who is your audience to
Okay.
speak to?
It is students. It is students.
Okay, middle school and high school, right?
College.
Okay, college students.
Yes.
And is your message on financial freedom, financial literacy?
So when we say let's state the facts is I've been my first paid speaking engagement like 2 years ago was because a professor seen me fundraise more than $3,000 with my own student organization. She's seen how I had organizational leadership and fundraising tactics, right? She asked me to come speak to another organization on how to fundraise, how for this or the other organization can do it. I was going to post in the chat, get a blue flyer made saying that I have my next upcoming, my first like virtual speaking conference. It's the same same professor who's having me come to the same organization. So like using those relations, so using my relations, my connections, and she wants me, she got feedback. Everybody loved the financial teaching. And even though I don't market myself as a financial advisor, what is true is that our financial status a lot of times determines our housing and food choices,
Okay, so
right?
so let
Especially
me
for
so let me rewind for a second. So so the first time you were successful in raising $3,000 for organization, she saw you wanted you to come and speak, and you were specifically kind of talk about fundraising.
yes.
Okay. So how does that transition? And what do you have a background in finance or accounting or anything like that?
My minor is in food and agribusiness.
Okay.
And so I care a lot. I can do the numbers. Like I am, a huge numbers person. I just never marketed myself. Like when I hop on calls within our own community, people are like, "How do I make this scalable?" Right? Like I'm good with foresight. So using that and the strategies is help teaching others. And so you know, with the student handbook or student curriculum is like walking people through a budget. Like a lot of times your budget depends on your do you have access to a kitchen? Are you a breakfast person? That determines your food choices, your food options, and so I'm tying in the housing and the food, but with the financial part, because a lot of times you either make decisions based off your financial status or your financial status determines what type of housing and food you're going to get into.
For sure. I got you. I am just concerned with you going deep into the financial literacy piece. Now, if you're like, hey, I'm going to be a budgeting expert, that's one
Mhm.
thing, right? But that financial literacy space, like, I know guys who got the certification, they've got the degrees, and they're still like, I don't want to brand as an expert, but I can help people. Because when you talk about financial literacy, like that is a whole world. When it comes to
Mhm.
Roth IRAs and savings and investments and stocks, like it is so much there. But if you're more so saying, hey, on the collegiate space, this percent of students struggle financially. This many of them are struggling when it comes to food, and they're struggling with budget. And you come up with a blueprint, a game plan, a curriculum on this is how you budget. This is how you take how much you're gonna make, or how much you get from your Pell Grant or student loans, or how much you get from your part-time job. And this is where you're gonna live, and this is how much your rent costs. This is how much you can afford in food. Don't be going out to the parties. Don't be eating out like that. Like that right there is completely different. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? And so I
Yeah. And yeah.
go ahead.
That's what like the curriculum is. It's like, do you spend $300 out to eat because you don't have access to a kitchen, or could you switch the out to eat for groceries and actually discipline yourself to
100%.
cook, you know?
Are
And
you
so,
seeing the
but both.
colleges buying this, or are you seeing the students individually going to be purchasing this curriculum?
I see like student organizations. I feel like again using my personal connections that they're going to guide me into if a whole cuz I haven't reached out to colleges
Okay.
as much.
Here's my recommendation, because I care
Mhm.
about you, and I know you're a grinder, and I don't want you working in the area. I want you plowing and looking for gold in the field that we know has gold. I want you drilling
Mhm.
for oil in fields we know has oil. I would say put
Mhm.
a pause on the curriculum until you talk
Mhm.
to at least 10 colleges, universities that have programs that says, yes, we will buy something like this. Let me tell you something. The only reason I did my student curriculum, and I love what you're thinking. You're like, I'm not going to just speak. I'm going to speak. I want to write books. I want to have curriculums. I want to add maximum value to this audience. I get that. But now you have to ask yourself, are they looking to purchase that? When I started my curriculum, I cannot tell you how many principals and superintendents were saying we need a curriculum like this. Right. And so I knew the need and the demand was there. And then that's why I did it. And guess what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Our
Mhm.
curriculum ain't hitting like it should,
Mhm.
and the demand is there. So just because the demand is there, don't mean they're gonna buy from you. So I am being very, very caught. Like even with the 10, I really
Mhm.
wish you could reach out to 30 universities and
Yeah.
colleges. But even with the 10, If 7 of the 10 says, yes, that's a good program and that would be valuable, and we actually do have a budget for it, now it's like, okay, but would y'all actually buy it from me? Because there is not a school I went to that says, Jeremy, we would love to have your curriculum, but maybe 4% of those schools actually bought the curriculum. So it's harder than you know. And so I just want to
Yeah.
make sure before you put that time and resources there, I want to make sure they're primed up to receive what you create. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's why, absolutely. And that's why, like, I'm not looking to sell it as intellectual property right now. It's because our, like, keynotes are great. We talked about this. Keynotes are amazing, but I would love to get in the space of workshops. So I want to create the curriculum more so. It's just because I don't want to give a workshop and they walk away with nothing. No, take this paper home, take this packet
For
home,
sure.
take it with you. It's the terms of like presenting more workshops, and so having them to take notes with it.
I love it. So this is what I would recommend, because there are going to be some universities that say, yes, we would love the speaker come in to kind of help our students who might be dealing with food and financial challenges. But you're going to have way more universities that say, man, our freshmen and our first generation college students, you know what I'm saying, or our minority students are struggling on some other things. And so I would love to see you also brand yourself as, look, I'm that college and university person that's going to come in and talk about responsible decision making, tell you how to prioritize your day, show you how to budget, you know what I'm saying, wisely, how to live within your means, so that you're giving them a holistic thing. Because there are going to be some colleges that's like, yo, our kids ain't really struggling to come to food, but they ain't making the best choices. They ain't not really locked into education. 42% of our freshmen don't come back next year. 76% of our first generation of minority students don't come back, and they have budgets for that. So let's have another conversation, but I want you to go a little wider for that audience. I got you.
I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
When, and as you're saying, you're speaking, because all this is going to come into fruition, like, at what percent, like 50%, 75%, 80%, would you say should a workshop include a worksheet with it?
I love workshops and give worksheets. I love workshops and worksheets. Give them something to answer questions, give them notes, or it could be something where if you're going to teach on your 8 principles, maybe with each principle, there's a question that they should be asking themselves. So some of those, there's 2 ways to do it. Some of them, it's a takeaway. Here you go. This is what we discussed today. So you can match what I've written, the outline, you can match them with your notes. But then there are some where you can say, when they first come in on the table, there is a sheet laid there or two with each section that you're going to teach, and that they can be taking notes and answering questions, or you can do both. But I love to give them something to put in their hands that they can write and engage with, and or something they can take home and reflect on later.
Yes, that's why I started the curriculum, because it's like I already know I have a paid opportunity. When I did it the first time, it was in person, but now it's going to be virtual. And so I haven't done a workshop virtually. So I just felt like I just wanted to have practice it before getting into it.
Yep, got you. Yep, the biggest thing now is see where the need is, and we don't want to be so narrow and niche where we miss opportunities. And so we'll keep building. I got you.
Oh,
Yep,
I
I got you. All right, I'm about to get ready to wrap it up. There's a few more questions that maybe we want to touch on. And let me also say this for everybody. Sometimes we're calling what we're building a curriculum when it's really just a program. You know what I'm saying? So you all got to do your research to see, okay, what does it actually take to be a curriculum? How many modules? How many lessons? Like, what are the different segments? And then you want to find you someone that can actually build out the curriculum. Some of you all might have a curriculum. Some of you all are going to have a program, you know what I'm saying? And some of you all are going to have some workshops and worksheets and takeaways and things like that. But I hope y'all really received what I was sharing with Legna. Like, let's just make sure we have that ultimate audience so that we have maximum value to it. And then let's make sure before we start producing programs and curriculums, let's make sure that the institutions want it and then they have a budget for it. Because before I wrote my own educational curriculum, our social emotional learning curriculum, our next level students curriculum, which is amazing, but I still had to have a lot of schools say that they wanted it, knowing that a small percentage of them that said they wanted actually had the budget for it or would choose mine over somebody else's. And so what I don't want y'all to do is to be out here and you're spinning your wheels and you're putting all this work and you're like, I've produced all of this, and then it's not hitting. So the biggest thing is making sure you got that audience dialed in, and that audience is one that's going to give you maximum opportunities to speak. All right, let's scroll. I feel like it was a few quick questions I could probably rapid fire. Put them up real quick. Let me knock out 3 or 4. I'm gonna go real quick.
Okay, Cedric wants to know, is there a prayer group that I can join? I have my wife, but I need a men's prayer group that I can identify with.
Are we able to put messages directly?
Send it directly to people.
Yeah.
Maybe if you DM for the academy or something like that, we can give it to it directly.
Let me just put it in here. All right. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't want the ladies. You know what I'm saying? The ladies jump in and we done spilled all the tea. We done spilled all the tea. Y'all talking about news report agency, whatever. All right. It was current events, dude. Let me wrap this up. Y'all so crazy. All right, next question. So to answer your question, Cedric, we do have a men's prayer line. That's how me and Crump actually connected almost 15 years ago. And so I ask that you won't share this number with any ladies. It's just for men. And just jump on and be on mute. Introduce yourself. Let them know that you got it from me, that you're a part of the community with me and Crump. When Brian, BK, some other men build with you, and we'll get you right. So I just sent it to Jira. So send us a DM, Cedric, to the Next Level Speakers Academy page, and they'll give you that number. Next question.
Chris says, hey bro, we met at your dad's appreciation service. I'm 26 and have recently decided to pursue a career in public speaking. How do you balance speaking on personal life versus spiritual life?
Hey, what's up, Chris? Good to see you, man. Super talented. And I'm still going to tap in with you, too, with the gala in June. So I got you, fam. So how do you balance speaking on a personal life versus spiritual life? So it depends on who your audience is. Right? There are people in our community that do men and women empowerment, or they do corporate, or they do colleges and universities, or they do youth, or they do corporate. Well, it is straight that. But if you're focused more on faith-based, or you're doing men and women empowerment in churches, or you're preaching and evangelizing, then you can focus on the spirituality. This platform I have here with Next Level Talks is different. I own the Next Level Speakers Academy company. I'm the founder, so I own this. So I'm a man of faith, so I can kind of control this. But if I were to speak to the Coca-Cola company or IBM or Chick-fil-A, I'm not going to go in there and be preaching and evangelizing because they didn't ask for that. Does that make sense? And so as you begin to go throughout your career, first thing is, okay, who is my audience? And then, okay, what do they have palatable? I've had people that's like, yo, I got booked to speak at this school, but how do I proclaim my love for Jesus? They not calling you for that. They're not calling you to come and minister that way. They calling you in because kids is fighting, kids is dropping out of school. It's a lot of bullying going on. They don't value education, and they're in the inner city with people that hope they're not successful so that they get caught up in the prison pipeline system. This is not the time for you to evangelize. This is the time for you to minister, to encourage them, to pour into them, to share your own story. And that is a form of ministry in itself. So figure out your audience, and then you'll know whether to lean on more personal or more faith-based. All right, great question, Chris. Excited for you, brother.
TV Network says, how do you determine which part of your story to use for your signature speech? I've been having a hard time narrowing it down.
So we talk about this often. When I do my trainings or when I do my challenges or workshops. So you really want to figure out the tree trunk, the foundation of your message. So every place I go to, every time I speak, I have the foundational parts of my story, my message. But then with every tree, you've got the tree trunk, the foundation with the roots, but then you've got the branches, right? So depending on what questions you ask that organization, how many employees are going to be there, what's the average salary of those employees, what are they dealing with, what's the behavior like, How do you want them to feel after my speech? What do you want them to learn? If you could change one thing within your company, you know what I'm saying? Like, what keeps you up at night? Once you ask all these questions to the individuals who book you, you now know how to add maximum value to them when you speak. So you have your foundational story so they know who you are, what you've gone through, what makes you who you are today. Then you can give them practical tips on how they can take their lives to a new level because of what you shared with them, because of the questions you've asked. So it's really one of those things to where when you really narrow down your message and you really understand what it is, you'll know I'm giving 10 minutes of my personal story and 35 minutes of everything else versus 20, 30 minutes of my personal story and then 15, 20 minutes of everything else. So it really just depends on your audience and what you're speaking to. If I'm in the corporate space, I'm not going to talk about, growing up on my biological father and drug and alcohol abuse and failing in school and how those teachers captured my heart. They on some other stuff. I'm going to talk about what it looked like to be a CEO and a husband and a nonprofit founder and having multiple companies and trying to keep my wife and my kids and my mind intact while still building my companies and not losing myself and still operating at a high level. But when I go to schools, I'm not going to talk to them about having to clear payroll and the struggles of business and building relationships and tap tune with the staff and keeping company morale high. I'm not talking about that because they're young. They just like, how'd you deal with bullying? How do I navigate the space if my father's not here? So it really depends on who's your audience, what parts of your story will most connect with them. All right, great question. Last one.
Angelia says, I have a praise report. I've been in the Facebook group telling people about my Walmart hack for the donut run, and last week I went out and met with some people, and I have a meeting with a city official this week.
Come on. Congratulations. And guess what I want you to do? Keep at it. You go and get 20 more donuts over the next month or so and close this school year out. You know what I'm saying? With these organizations and these schools. So whatever's working, you continue to feed that. You continue to put that work in and day out. I'm so excited for y'all, man. Thank y'all for tapping in with another episode of Next Level Talks. I feel like we went really long with Q&A today, but it was a lot of things we had to get through. It was a lot of questions, and I'm glad to be able to create this space for y'all. Thank you, Kathy Jones. Kathy said that's some great information for coaching. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in. Guess what? I am not going to be with y'all next week because I'll be still coming back from Cancun because we have a mastermind this weekend. To everybody that's going to be at our Next Level Speakers Mastermind in Cancun, y'all are in for a treat. But I will be with y'all November 17th. I can't wait to see y'all there. In the meantime, make sure you subscribe. If you haven't done it yet, shame on you. Subscribe. Hit that notification button, and I'll see y'all in a few weeks. Peace.
The Next Level Speakers.
Hi, y'all thought I forgot to pray for you. Y'all thought I forgot. And I did. Let's pray. Man, God, so grateful for this day. Grateful for everybody that's watching live and for those that's watching this episode later. And just give them clarity, Lord. From this call, I sense that it's a lot of folks, quite a few people lacking clarity. And that's cool because you've given us so many ideas and passion about so many different things and so many different directions and approaches that we can take, God. Just give us the clarity that we need. I pray that we're able to hear from you. Lord, I'm thinking about our dear brother that has his opportunity to do this healing, recovery men's group, but he's still thinking that he's inadequate. I pray that every single person on with us right now watching it, Lord, will know that they are adequate. They will know that they are enough. They will know that you have called them, chosen them, and selected them for this time and this season. And so bless them, strengthen them, open up doors, bless their efforts in all they do. Keep their business intact, keep their minds intact, keep their families intact as we're pursuing to do the work you've called us to do and live a life of purpose. Bless us and keep us in all we do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Now, I'll see y'all next week. In 2 weeks. All right, be blessed. Peace.
The Next Level Speakers Academy helped me form a successful speaking business.
They've helped me with my marketing and branding.
This year, we are going to pass $500,000 in gross revenue. Jeremy has put me on stages that I never thought that I would be on.
So the community element is next level.
I got my first $12,000 speaking engagement.
I made over $100,000.
One gig, $18,000. $75,000.
I cannot recommend Next Level Speakers Academy enough.
That was just a glimpse of the life-changing work that we're doing here at the Next Level Speakers Academy. And over the next 2 minutes, you're gonna see exactly how our program and community can be a game changer for your speaking business. Years ago, myself and ET, Dr. Eric Thomas, came together because we knew that our calling in life was more than just being phenomenal speakers. It is to train, equip, support, and mentor the next generation of professional speakers.
So imagine you getting what Eric Thomas learned in 30 years. You're getting that in 6 months. You're getting the education, you're getting the platform, and you're getting an opportunity to meet with decision makers.
What a lot of the individuals will receive is information and knowledge that can help them not make some of the same mistakes or have some of the same encounters that weren't as fortunate as we had.
Now, one way that we're gonna take your speaking career to a whole nother level is through our online platform. We've got 4 different courses in one location, all set up to put you in the best position, from the marketing, the branding, the storytelling, how to find speaking engagements, everything you need to be successful and dominate in this space. And you have lifetime access to the courses and content.
In the past 3 months, I've had 25 plus speaking engagements. Next Level is who they say they are.
You need to join the #1 winning team in the world when it comes to speaking. The community has been a blessing, and after 15 years of active duty service, I know what a good community looks like when I see one, and this is it.
Now, in addition to the online course, we also have our Next Level Speakers community, and we've got chapters all across the country and internationally. Now, this is important because your proximity equals your velocity. And the people that you're connected with has the power to take your speaking career farther and faster.
I hold this community so near and dear to my heart. At one point, I didn't even want to tell people about it. I was afraid the more people knew, the less success there would be available to me. But God is abundant. The more people that join this community, we only get stronger.
In addition to the online course and community, some of you might even upgrade to spending a mastermind weekend with us. That's where me and ET puts you on stage. Our team captures the footage. We coach you and train you up live in person, and that material is sure to be a game changer for your business.
I knew I stumbled across something different when the coaches were the people that were actively doing this as their career and making a lot of money and being successful actually speaking. They get you on stage, they give you the materials, they create your brand. So you're so legit and you have your best foot forward as you're trying to build your career. They're a bunch of dream makers.
I know I was supposed to be here, and I was so honored.
I bawled when she cried when she was up on the stage earlier trying to video her on 2 phones, but you guys gave her that voice and have helped her step out. She wouldn't have done this without you guys, so thank you.
It's probably one of the realest programs you're gonna ever get into. I've been in other programs. Man, you giving us a chance to practice what God gave us on stage? Yo, man, he said it right. It's priceless.
What sets us apart from other speakers, programs, or communities, it's not just the success that our students are getting financially from speaking in their business. It's because we take a holistic approach. We don't want to just build up great speakers. We want to build up great people. And every year at our annual conference, there are individuals that decide to grow in business and decide to grow spiritually. That is something we're really proud of. If you're ready to really take your speaking career to the next level and your life to the next level and truly live a life of purpose, join today. What's up, y'all? Jeremy here. Look, me and my team want to give you a glimpse of what it looks like and what you're going to experience when you come to a Next Level Speakers Mastermind. Check this out.
Hi, my name is Cam. My role is to make sure that you are prepared and have all the information you need before the mastermind. So while you're at the mastermind, you can stay connected, learn, and grow.
Before you hit the stage, myself and the other coaches are going to prepare you and give you live feedback so that you can dominate the stage.
And while you're on stage, I'm gonna be capturing high quality photos for you for your websites and your branding.
And me and the AV team can't wait to support you because your name and face deserves to be on the big screen.
Oh, hey, me and the team, we're here to support you. We're here to get you mic'd up, but ultimately to get you hyped up so you can take the stage.
Look, not only do you speak live on stage, right? We do Q&A. Like, we literally gonna coach you and answer all your questions to help you get to the next level.
Every day of the mastermind, we have one person who did a dynamic job to have the opportunity to win the Drop Mic Award.
As you see, our next level speakers, mastermind weekends are something special. We're gonna put you on stage, we're gonna coach you, we're gonna mentor you, we're gonna give you the game you need, but the revelation that you receive, the breakthroughs that people are receiving, truly makes our mastermind weekends a life-changing experience. We hope to see you at the next one.
Hey speakers, listen up. The Next Level Brand Studio is here, your one-stop shop for all of your branding needs. We've created branding materials for some of your favorite motivational and public speakers. Are you in need of a high-quality logo design? Well, look no further. The Next Level Brand Studio is ready to create a high-quality logo just for you. Or maybe you need an electronic press kit. We have created EPKs that have helped speakers make well over 6 and 7 figures. In need of a website? The Next Level Brand Studio has built websites for some of the biggest names in the industry, and we want to do the same for you. Or maybe it's time for you to go to the next level with a high-quality speakers reel. Whether you have taken the stage hundreds of times or just once, the Next Level Brand Studio has a team ready to assist and create a custom speakers reel for you. NextLevelBrandStudio.com. It's time to take your brand to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Gavin van der Fyn, Director of Next Level Living South Africa. I'm so excited to share with you the journey that I have been on for the last couple of years, serving not just our students, but communities all over Cape Town. This journey has not only been transformative for me, but has been transformative for our students and the families that we serve in these communities.
At the beginning, before this whole thing, I felt hopeless. I was like, okay, the doors now are shut. But then when I just, got signed in with Next Level Living, everything just, became light and everything was so smooth.
Being from a community that does not have much and you see people struggle, you also feel like you're not going to get the kind of opportunities that others do. But being a part of Next Level Living, it creates a new kind of confidence.
I've personally witnessed the change and the transformation that happens in our communities when we go out there with our teams week in, week out, feeding hundreds of families to make sure that they do not go to bed hungry. This is the challenge that we are sitting with and our personal mission and assignment to alleviate hunger in the communities that we feed.
I feel so honored and great for this chance that I have been given by the Next Level Living students. I'm glad for the supporters that are sponsoring us and the people out there that are supporting us. It is a great thing and a great to give back to the community.
But this doesn't end here. We have plans for the future to make sure that our students reach a potential far greater than they ever had. We are planning on building our own youth center at this moment. We are planning on seeking employment for our students after they graduate from that stage. And we need the resources enough to make sure that our students take their lives to a whole new level. This is what we are appealing to our sponsors, to those that are listening to us. There are students here that can reach a potential far greater than they ever dreamt of. We have athletes in our midst. We have potential doctors. We have potential lawyers. And these are the students that are in our care. Thank you for listening to our appeal. And I hope the impact that we can gather together will take these lives to a whole new level.
I just want to say thank you for the next level that you feed our children, and we appreciate it. And I ask for you, don't forget the children here.
I just want to say we really appreciate for you Next Level Living, what you're doing for us as kids.
I like to thank Next Level Living for accepting me, making me feel warm and welcome.
Great people, great team, another family. And I hope we continue striving forward.
I just want to say thank you for Next Level Living. I just want to say thank you for Next Level Living to appreciate it. We appreciate what you do and keep on coming, don't stay away.